The cold has arrived. Migrating songbirds have left their summer homes empty until next spring. The last of the hardier migrators are on their way south. For the wildlife that will remain for the winter, there are two main challenges to overcome. Don't freeze and don't starve. While we explore late fall's wildlife survival adaptations, we have a visually rich presentation featuring raptors like the northern harrier, a not often seen mammal, the black squirrel, the exciting flight of pheasants, and a somewhat rare blue-headed mallard, and a lot more. We start with what might at first appear to be the least demanding wildlife adaptation to freezing cold, simply flying south and enjoying a winter in warmer climates. But the truth of migrating is that it's a very long journey over many miles, and surviving it is a gamble. Migration is a journey that gets harder every year. Fewer numbers of animals survive from the number of perils that can cost them their lives. The flying birds can lose their chorus or have a flying collision course with a tall man-made structure like high buildings or TV towers. One of the worst offenders is shoreline lighthouses, as the birds are attracted to the lighthouses but have trouble sensing the structures. Bad weather, predators, exhaustion, starvation, and one of the biggest growing hazards is simply not finding a place to land, rest, and recharge with food along the flight path. As wetlands and wild spaces have been continually shrinking over time, habitat destruction is an obvious observation. But another challenge comes from light pollution. Migrating birds most often fly at night, and man-made lighting can interfere with clearly interpreting the constellations, which they do use for navigation. We'll be back with more animals and featuring blue-headed mallards, following this quick trip showing off some of the beautiful Driftless area landscapes. Mammals that stay the winter adapt by growing thicker fur coats and increasing their internal fat content. Some collect and store food. Some find shelter in tree holes or ground burrows. Others shelter by huddling close together to conserve body heat. A few hibernate through the entire cold season. With food resources reduced and an enormous amount of energy needed to maintain body heat, a number of these fur friends won't survive. Some wildlife studies show that during a severe winter, death rates for deer have been measured to be up to 32%.
Well, hello. We're having an Indian summer after some really cold stretches of days, so boy, this is nice. Really enjoying it and appreciate it. And I hope that you're enjoying the content that the channel has for this presentation. As always, it's a huge pleasure for me to be able to come out here and bring it to you in images and video clips and just sharing nature in a beautiful area. do want to say thank you very much for all the folks that have tuned in and checked out the content here, and just sit back and relax and enjoy more out of celebrating the outdoors.
In Wisconsin, pheasant hunting in the fall was a long-time tradition. Today, the majority of the state doesn't have enough of their natural habitat to maintain a breeding population naturally. The tradition continues, though, as pheasants are game farm raised and then released into public hunting lands. So the fate of these birds is pretty dismal due to hunting pressure, not being familiar with natural predators, and limited habitat resources. Aside from hunters, pheasants face predators such as hawks, coyotes, domestic dogs, and raccoons. Some are killed by agricultural equipment during the harvest. One study showed only about 16% of released pheasants will make it to 30 days. Only about 5% at 90 days. There's no question why pheasant upland hunting lives on as a tradition. They are often hunted in a team of highly skilled hunter and training dog companion. They are beautiful, exciting animals and formidable flying targets. They can have a flight speed of up to 60 miles per hour. Howling snowstorms, sub-zero cold, but the numerous small birds have adapted to survive under the extreme weather of winter. There are two main rules for survival: don't freeze and don't starve. In order to stay warm, birds have an elevated body temperature of 105 degrees while they're active, but they can lower their core temperature at night to burn fewer calories. Their uninsulated legs are specially regulated to cool down to just above freezing and still have full functionality. Another survival tactic is traveling in groups and huddling together to help conserve heat during the night. We'll be back with more animals following this quick side trip, showing off some of the beautiful Driftless area landscapes. If you notice large groups of agitated crows scouring the treetops, it's likely they've spotted a raptor perch there. Crows also attack raptors in an attempt to steal that raptor's food catch. The shores of this lake are busy with migrating shorebirds, and you can bet that migrating flocks are on the raptor's menu. Like smaller birds, eagles change their solitary behavior for a more communal one over the cold months, and they'll gather in overnight roosting groups. These groups serve two purposes: energy conservation and observational information for sharing on food sources. Being amazing flyers and hunters, raptors constantly rank on the top 10 lists of amazing birds to watch. Once again, we see a whitetail's wave of goodbye. If you've enjoyed the presentation, look up other Celebrating Outdoors videos on this channel. And your support by hitting the like button and subscribing helps promote this content to other nature-loving viewers. Thanks for watching.